It's time for the main event. It's the Shoe Shine.
¿Qué onda, vatos locos? It's your boy Dave in the 702 coming at you for another episode of the Shoe Shine Boxing Podcast. Joining me as always, all the way from the city of brotherly love. Oh snap, Philly Irish, Drew Evo. ¿Qué pasa? Well, I think we all see what's going on. Do you need a moment?
Give me one moment.
All right. Welcome, everybody. I appreciate everybody tuning in. Drew Evo from Philadelphia is going to take care of that green screen that is completely collapsed. I know I sound a little bit jovial today, guys, but I do want to point out that today is 9/11 and marks the 22nd anniversary of the horrific attack on our country. And I found this picture today on my social media timeline. I follow Beetlejuice with his WBC championship belt. Of course, some of you guys don't know that I used to manage a couple of the Whack Packers and book appearances. Of course, Beetlejuice being the most famous Whack Packer. And I ran into one of Howard Stern's Whack Packers that I used to manage this week in Las Vegas, my fellow comedian buddy, speech impediment man, and he made a video for Drew. Yeah, he's got a video message for Drew when Drew comes back. Because one thing, we've been doing this show for several years now, 3-4 years on other platforms, just a couple years now on YouTube. And apparently Drew, I forgot all about it. Drew has an outstanding debt. Yeah, he's got a bet he made with the speech. And the speech has got a video message for him regarding that bet. Of course, I hope everyone had a fantastic Sunday as football season kicks off. I see my friends are here in the chat. I appreciate you. Rhonda, what happened to the Chiefs? Opening Thursday night football. What happened? Oh, I can't say I feel bad one bit, but 49ers won their first game and did it impressively. And in fact, I brought a beat, but guys, I also got this other picture here. But our boy Christian McCaffrey, 49ers stellar running back, also was rocking a Beetlejuice sweatshirt this weekend. How fitting that he's a Howard Stern fan, just like I am. So that was pretty cool. And then, of course, he had an amazing game. Shout out to the Raiders, Raider Nation, everybody here in Las Vegas and Oakland and California that supports the Raider Nation. They won, and Drew told me just now, I forgot to check up on him, but the Eagles won. And as soon as Drew gets back, I'm going to post that video message before we get into all the hot stuff going on in the sport of boxing. Did you guys watch any boxing? Let me know in the chat. I know I was trying to watch the Thompson Boxing got bought over by a new promotion company, and I was telling Drew how upset I was because I couldn't find Fox Deportes, which they signed a contract with the new owners of Thompson Boxing. It's now called New Blood. They signed a deal with Fox Deportes, which in theory is great to put it on free TV or free cable, but I couldn't find it living in Vegas. I couldn't find any of that. So I literally saw no boxing. I just enjoyed the weekend here in Las Vegas and, of course, opening day of football. But this weekend, oh, do we got a lot of boxing, guys. It's Mexican Independence Day weekend, which is usually the weekend Canelo Alvarez fights here and takes over Las Vegas. We will be getting a Canelo Alvarez fight, thankfully. Thank you, Boxing Gods, and it's against stellar opposition. Of course, you guys have heard Charlo will be his opponent at the end of September. But this Mexican Independence Day weekend, shout out to DAZN and especially Top Rank, who said, you know what? If Canelo's not fighting, we're going to put on some stellar cards. 2 cards this Friday. Top Rank will be putting on a fantastic featherweight title fight between El Venado Lopez and former world title challenger Joet Gonzalez, who recently climbed back up the ranks. So we got an outstanding card Friday night. The Zone also has a Tijuana barn burner with Angel Fierro, a lightweight that I very much enjoy on Friday night. And of course, Saturday, we'll be talking about the DAZN card too as well, Drew. But there has been some pretty interesting news, Drew. And now that you're back, I have to address this. Shout out to everybody joining us because I have a video message from my friend who says Drew has done him wrong. Drew, I have to play this here. It's a video message for you. Here it is. Oh, that's not it. I'm sorry, guys. Oh, that was pretty bad. All right.
Hey, Philly shithead, Drew. Hey, you still owe me that fucking $50 from 2 years ago, and with interest, it's fucking double. Now, we're playing you guys next week in Philly, so let me know if you want to bet double or nothing. $100, buddy.
Wow, Drew, you still owe the man $50 from 2 years ago, and Philadelphia is playing. The Eagles are playing the Vikings. So, and there was a lot of Vikings fans here at the casinos this weekend. Drew, he says $100, double or nothing. Do you accept this wager? $100, the Eagles versus the Vikings. Says you still owe him the 50. He's willing to do 100 or nothing, Drew. This is a good bet, guys. What do you think, guys? Please respond in the chat. Should Drew Evo take up this bet?
The dude don't even have a Cash App or a PayPal. I'm not going to fucking entertain this bet and wait for a check to come in the mail and everything. Like, come on, man. This is the reason why he hasn't gotten paid yet. Tell him to get a fucking Cash App and a PayPal and get paid.
Oh, come on,
like,
guys. Let me know in the chat. Put number one for Drew should do it. Take the $100 double or nothing bet. And 2, if he should walk away from the bet simply because speech impediment man does not know how to figure out Cash App. 1 or 2.
He does not know how to figure out anything. He doesn't know how to figure out PayPal. He doesn't know how to figure out Cash App, Venom, fucking whatever the fuck. He doesn't know how to fucking figure out the fucking gift card system.
Well, I'll tell you what, Walk with Rhonda says, one, that you should take that bet. And he may not know how to figure out Cash App, but he does know how to figure out free online porn, Drew. I don't know. He had a lot of reviews for me on certain websites, me and my wife, by the way. And Rhonda, speaking of, I don't know what you did to him, but he's still talking about your booty. So that's another thing he knows how to figure out, Drew. He's still got that. He's still got his faculties up here. All right, guys, it looks like the majority of people are saying that Drew should take him up on this bet, Drew, and let us know by the end of this show if you're going to take him up on this bet, and I will arrange that double. I say you do it. I think.
You know what, man? I'm probably not going to get this money in 2 years because he doesn't know how to figure out shit.
The thing is, he doesn't collect on his debts. I would take the damn bet. And then he owes you 100. And then when I see him, I'll collect the 100. And then when you come to Vegas for the first time in your life, I'll give you the $100.
Bro, I ain't coming to Vegas.
I'll give you the $100. All right, guys, there was some really interesting news last week. You know, I'm so out of it. I was so out of it today that my wife had to warn me and said, do you realize you put the same thumbnail out? You're getting lazier with the shoe shine. And hit that like button, guys. Make sure you hit that like button. Thanks a lot. It helps out tremendously. But she says, you're so lazy that you put the same thumbnail. I was like, oh shit, I did do that. But the news hasn't changed, Drew. And the news is, to me, that Shakur Stevenson is essentially the boogeyman of boxing, Drew, because this Frank Martin fight that was all but set in stone, which I was very excited about. Just saw Frank Martin at the Cosmopolitan a few weeks ago with mutual friend Fonzie and Carol. We went to see him. We've seen him twice now. We were excited about him taking on Top Rank's #1 lightweight contender, in my opinion, Shakur Stevenson. And that shit fell apart, Drew. This is crazy.
First of all, Chicano, I do not lose all my public bets. Dave was the last bet that I made him take a pie because of his Niners.
Oh, that's right. I did take that
By the
bet.
way,
I almost
so
forgot
let's get
about
that
that.
straight. You know what? I didn't think Frank was going to take this fight. Like, seriously, this was an up-and-coming fighter of the PBC, and fucking, like, all the fucking fighters are getting their asses kicked by top-rank fighters. So why would they do that with Frank Martin, another up-and-coming guy? And me and Nanda made one bet, and he lost two, and then I lost one with him. So let's put it straight out there. But it's really just it was. I knew he was not going to take the fight. Al probably came to Al and said, "Yo, man, pull him out. He's not beating Shakur Stevenson. I can't have another top-ranked fighter beat one of my up-and-coming guys and everything." So, like, everybody should have known that the fight was not going to happen, especially him going to the ESPN and fighting.
Right. It was going to be televised on free ESPN in Las Vegas the week of, I think it was, last I heard, it was going to be Thursday to kick off Formula One weekend in Las Vegas in the month of November. I was all stoked about that. I know our boy Ryan in here was stoked about it too, a fellow Las Vegas resident, because it just was going to set this tone for a fantastic sports weekend. And now we find out, for no clear reason, why Frank Martin has revealed to none of the publications that cover the sport of boxing his exact reason. Drew, from what I understand, it would be a record career payday of at least $1 million, which he has not gotten that kind of payday in his professional career. You might even agree with Teofimo Lopez for the first time in your life, because Teofimo says, "I don't understand it. I guess we are the last breeds of champions." What a heartache to those who love boxing. No reason why, Drew, he does not want this WBC belt. The only thing I can imagine is that he thinks Devin Haney, who, the other great news, Devin Haney, and this is a big, big news for my fellow San Franciscans and Bay Area sports fans, is that he thinks Devin Haney will eventually relinquish all those other 3 belts, making it a piece of pie for Frank Martin to fight somebody at PBC for a vacant WBA belt, perhaps, a vacant IBF belt, and not ever have to fight Shakur Stevenson and pick up his first career loss.
Well, here's the issue with that. If he's fighting for the WBA belt, he's going to fight Tank, because Tank holds the Reggie belt at 135. And right away, when those belts get separated, Tank be elevated to 4 champion or fight another guy for that belt and everything. And I don't think they're going to match Frank Martin up with Tank and everything. They may, because it's a PBC bracket and everything, but I can see like an IBF or a WBO going to top rank too, but it's really like they brought it up there. If, like, here's the thing: if they did feel like he wasn't ready to fight Shakur Stevenson or up in the case, then they should have never accepted the fight in the first place and everything. They should have said, "Hey, we're not in the mood to take that fight at this time." Instead of saying, "Yeah, let's take the fight and everything. We'll take the fight. We'll be ready to fight." So now it's how it is. Like, Haney is moving up, put himself champion. He says Loma, as expected, was going to take time off after the Devin Haney fight. So he wasn't taking the fight because he was taking time off. And Martin doesn't want the fight. So the next possible name is Kambosos.
But you know who's fighting this weekend, who did extremely well and surprised me, is Jermaine Ortiz will be fighting this Saturday, Drew. And I think as a top-ranked guy, a guy who, was extremely competitive, won maybe four solid rounds against Lomachenko. This is a guy who could actually give, I think, Shakur Stevenson a decent fight. Maybe he gets schooled, but there's some pretty good guys at top rank at 135 that could be eligible to fight Shakur. I know he's the boogeyman, but our boy Ryan here has an interesting theory, or he brings up a good point. People keep saying that Martin is ducking Stevenson to fight Tank for more money, but that's some BS. Does that sound like a plausible rumor to you, Drew, that maybe somebody got in Frank Martin's head and was like, look, Tank is going to be elevated to full WBA champion should Devin Haney relinquish the belt. If not, he'll be first in line for that WBA belt. And then Frank Martin could sign an in-house deal. And if he's going to get his ass beat to anybody, at least let it be in-house and for tons of money. And possibly, they enticed him with the kind of money that Ryan Garcia made. Of course, he doesn't deserve that payday. Ryan Garcia brought a tremendous audience with him. But what about that theory, bro? Because that sounds kind of plausible to me, that somebody got in his hand and was like, this is a much bigger fight that could potentially be happening.
Yeah, like it possibly is. They'll tell him that, you could pass. This isn't a good matchup for you, and you're not getting paid enough, and to take this risk. And like, maybe we can get you a Tank fight for more money and everything. Be worth the risk, but I'll be honest. I really think Jermaine Ortiz will be a more difficult fight than Frank Martin. I actually think Jermaine Ortiz has a shot to beat Shakur Stevenson and everything because he's as big as him and he can box. So, like, we will see how Shakur adjusts to that and everything. Fight someone that can actually box and as big as him. But if that fight was to be made, but
we got a call.
I wouldn't be surprised if Jermaine Ortiz winds up fighting for the WBO belt.
Let's take this call. Let's not make people wait too long to get on the shoe shine. They'll stop calling. The 510 you is on the shoe shine. ¿Qué pasa?
Hey, what's up, Dave? What's up, Drew? It's Nando.
What's up, Nando? Nando, what you think about our Niners performance? Are you Raiders fan? I forget, man. Niners or Raiders?
I'm a Niners fan.
All right, man. All right. 1-0 feels good. But what's your take on this fucking Frank Martin pulling out of this WBC prize fight?
Well, first of all, like everybody else, man, super disappointing, man. I was looking forward to that fight, man. I thought it was going to be like a 60-40 fight, competitive, maybe even a potential upset. Frank Martin's tough, but he decided to back out for whatever reason.
Do you speculate on any reason why he would back out of this fight?
I mean, the stuff that I read online, like from Dan Raphael and people like that, it just sounds like he got cold feet because it sounds like TGB and PBC management, they all agreed to the fight. They already agreed to the contract, $1 million, whatever it was, and they were just going to send it over to Frank Martin's team to sign it, and he decided not to sign it. So to me, it seems like he got cold feet. If anything else, if anything.
I think someone actually had a conversation with him about it. Is like weighed his options, and I think he actually weighed his options again, and he realized, hey, maybe they can get me a fight with Tank. That someone really close to him had to really tell him you need to weigh your options because you're going to take an ass kicking for far less money than possibly getting the cash cow of the lower weight classes in like maybe a fight or two and like fight him for a belt and like you're gonna make more than $1 million fighting Tank. You'll probably make $2 million.
Right.
Depend on it's gonna be on pay-per-view, so you're gonna make like at least $2 million fighting Tank. Especially if it's for the real belt and everything. So people don't give you much of a chance to beat Tank and everything, but you're still making money. Hey, you can make it rough for Tank as long as you have it and that lasts and everything. But I think someone, I think he took more of the business route than the legacy route. Because this, if he was somewhat to beat Shakur Stevenson, will catapult his career big time as the man that beat the so-called boogeyman of this division and won a belt in the process and sets himself up for even bigger fights. But
yeah, I can't imagine, Drew. I can't imagine him winning that. But you're right, man. If he was to upset Shakur Stevenson, walk away with that WBC strap, imagine how much better he would play in the negotiation against Tank being the WBC champion. That's crazy.
Yeah, but I don't know. It's someone got into his ear last minute and said, "Hey, this is what we're gonna. This is what I think you should do. I think you should not take this fight. I think you should back out, wait for the Tank fight to come. You're gonna get it. You're gonna get the fight. I'm telling you, you're gonna get the fight, and you're gonna make more money." And he was like, "You know what? I agree with you. I think I am going to make more money fighting Tank, and I am probably going to fight for a title when I fight Tank." So they screw it. I'm not fighting Shakur Stevenson. Let them look for another opponent. But
when is Tank going to fight again? Do still on house arrest? Like, you got money in the hand, man. You got $1 million paycheck. Wait a minute. You got $1 million paycheck that they're going to offer you. Even if you don't win, even if you're competitive, that raises your profile, dude, on ESPN in a big fight. F1 week, right, for the F1 racing in Las Vegas. Like, this would have done was raise his profile. It wasn't like he had to fear a knockout from Shakur. Shakur doesn't have knockout power anyways, man. You know? So it could have been a competitive fight. It would have raised his profile. Would have raised his asking price going forward against even against Tank. I don't know why these guys are so afraid to have a loss, man. If you're competitive against Shakur, that's just going to raise your profile.
I look at it like this. Shakur can knock somebody out. He can with combinations and everything and accurate punching. But, like, I look at it, Tank's about to have a rematch with Isaac Cruz.
Right.
That's on the table and everything. They already said it. Tank's trainer already said it. The next fight is Isaac Cruz rematch and everything. But I really look at, like, do I consider this a duck on the part of Frank Martin? Yeah, you backed out. You actually agreed to it, then you backed out.
Drew, I gotta ask Drew and Nando, do you guys think that Isaac Cruz deserves that rematch based on his last performance or based on the performance he had in the ring against Tank?
I don't think Isaac Cruz deserves anything. I don't think that guy's been living off of a close fight against Tank for like 2 years now.
He's like the only guy in recent memory to not get knocked out.
I'm gonna be honest. He doesn't deserve shit either. Like, he had big fights offered to him after the Tank fight, and he ducked
including Ryan Garcia
and Shakur Stevenson. He refused to fight them and everything. Banking on a Tank Davis rematch, and then he fought a Yuriorkis Gamboa that's aged a big deal and everything. This Gabriel Cabrera guy, he looked like shit against and everything. He looked like shit his last couple fights. I don't see what was the point of him getting a rematch and they were saying that, they can make more money off the Mexican. No, you couldn't. You're going to make money off Shakur Stevenson. This Mexican fighter wasn't giving you shit.
Well, they saw how well they did against Ryan Garcia. They want to resurrect that all over again. Drew, two guys that don't look like shit are fighting this weekend, and that's Angel Fierro on DAZN, the Tijuana fighter, and of course William Zepeda, El Camarón, who broke the lightweight record. Those are two solid Mexican contenders. I can only imagine guys like that getting a shot against Tank, but no, we'll see. Isaac Cruz. Sorry to interrupt you, Drew. What were you going to say?
I think that the way that Isaac is being and the way that they'll manage him, his management team, it's terrible. And they want to make excuses of why he does not want to fight these guys and everything. Dude, you turned in from possibly the guy that Tank didn't want to fight at the time again, to the guy that ducks everybody when all these big fights are being offered to you. You didn't want to take none of them. And his team didn't want to take none of them because they felt Isaac Cruz wasn't beating none of these guys and everything. So why take the fight? And he already has he only has 2 losses on his record. That's what I don't understand. So, like, I just look at it and I'm like, so they just banked on the Tank Davis rematch happening eventually, and now they finally got it. If he's going to lose again, and now what? You're not marketable anymore after that. You're probably going to lose worse this time. And I don't know. I don't know the logic of some of these management teams with their fighters. They're not thinking straight. Like Isaac Cruz is already a way undersized 135 pounder.
Yeah, he really looks like a guy who would do well at 130 pounds. And guys, the only reason we're talking about this fight is because the undisputed champion in Devin Haney, who came away with the win against the great Lomachenko, a fight that I was at, he's moving up to 140, Drew. And this news that we announced that this fight was all but certain is going to happen. And this is very exciting and also very risky, in my opinion. The return to the hometown where Devin Haney, born and raised San Franciscan, who eventually was Oakland resident, is coming back to the Bay Area, Drew, December the 9th. And the first time in ages that a fight of this magnitude has happened in San Francisco, where the Golden... Rhonda, if you're in here, they're playing where the Dubs play. And I know you love the Dubs. Nando, I have to ask you, as a local Bay Area resident, man, are you excited about this? Are you going to get tickets to this fight?
Yeah, dude, I'm going to get tickets, man. I'm going to get tickets. If it happens, because... honestly, dude, I don't think the Chase Center is the right spot for this fight, man. I don't think they're going to sell a lot of tickets in San Francisco. They're just not, dude. It's not. I mean, Andre Ward on his best day, in Oakland, sold 8,000 tickets.
Right.
You know, that's not even half of the capacity at the Chase Center, which is like almost 20,000. You know, so it's just weird, man. I don't know what Eddie Hearn is doing. Like, if I was going to put a fight in the Bay Area, I'd put it in San Jose, man, because they do support combat sports in San Jose, man. They've always supported boxing and MMA in San Jose.
They have the Bellator has done extremely well, and before that was Strikeforce, which was put on Showtime Sports. Been a great MMA town. Andy Vences, a regular on this show, never quite had that opportunity to fight for a title, but now we're talking about the undisputed champion coming home to San Francisco Bay Area in a beautiful stadium that holds 20,000 people. The truth of it is that Devin Haney couldn't sell 20,000 seats at the T-Mobile in Las Vegas, where he lives now. And Regis, unfortunately, Regis is not as good as he is, as much as he's appreciated by hardcore boxing fans, and he is the 140-pound champion. Could have easily have gotten the nod against Josh Taylor in his fight. He doesn't have a household name. He's not a household star in the sports world, Drew, which I think makes it even more difficult, because Devin Haney is the undisputed champ at 135, moving up to 140, but he's not fighting Ryan Garcia, a social media star. He's fighting Devin Haney, who very few people know, Drew. And Nando points out something fantastic. At the peak of Andre Ward's career, he had a very difficult time selling out the Oakland Coliseum, where the Dubs used to play, Drew. I think this might turn into a financial headache for Eddie Hearn. What do you think, Drew?
I think this barely sells 5,000 tickets. Like, I think in order to try to sell this out, I think they're going to give away tickets. Like,
they probably will have to give at a bulk discount too.
I just don't think. Here's the thing. I just don't think this fight is profitable to sell out in San Francisco. I think it was the wrong choice, wrong business move. And tell you the truth, man, Eddie Hearn's made a lot of bad business moves recently. So We should be used to that now, especially with this Deontay Wilder negotiations and everything. But I think this barely sells 5,000 tickets, and it holds 20,000 people, right? This arena.
Yeah, it's gonna easily hold 20,000. I'm not sure. My homegirl Rhonda, who's in the chat, she's seen I've actually never seen the stadium. I haven't seen it. She was actually there with our boy Roy, a YouTuber there, because I know she loves the Dubs. Now I'm just playing.
I really think this sells less. Barely hits 5,000 tickets sold, and I'll tell you the truth. I don't think this undercard is gonna look good either. Like I just.
You think so?
I really think this is a bit. I don't even think Devin Haney might not win this fight. Because we don't know if he's going to be able to take a punch from a 140-pounder.
Yeah, I was just thinking, Drew and Nando. I wonder, our boy Andy Vences has had some tough losses and recently retired just a few months ago. But I mean, he would make a welcome. He's still sparring and whatnot. He would make a welcome addition to that undercard as a promotional free agent, just to bring some bodies in there, because he always brought an audience in the Bay Area to his smaller scale fights. The last time I remember something having this much attention, Nando, but the last time I remember having anything in San Francisco this much attention was a televised ESPN fight where Paulie Malignaggi was commentating, and it was like at the Fisherman's Wharf Union Hall or something. I mean, we're not talking about a stadium, so I do wish Devin Haney the best. I'm extremely excited. I'm even contemplating going home to see Mom for Christmas, thinking about it. Can I do that with all the animals in my house? I don't know. Go ahead, Nando.
I was going to agree with you, Dave, that that's a good idea to bring like Andy Vance or somebody that'll help sell tickets, man, because, I mean, I'm rooting for Devin Haney. I do consider him a local guy, but in reality, man, he has no real local ties. There's nobody going to be excited to buy tickets in the Bay Area over Devin Haney. They don't really identify with him, right? He's never out here.
He's never out
supports
here.
The local community. He's not active out here. So he's not really tied to the Bay Area in reality, man.
I understand. You make a very good point about Devin Haney not coming back and at least being him and his father, at least having a public presence. Maybe our boy Lukey Boxing would have some opposing opinions about that. But as far as I can remember, I didn't see a push to say, hey, this is your hometown guy, Devin Haney, and he's rising up as a boxing superstar and world champion now. He's going to need all the help he can from local radio, local television, local sportscasters, and say, I'm here to put on a show. I've always been a Bay Area guy. It's going to take a lot of work, but I do wish him the best. And I hope everybody that's a fan of boxing in the Bay Area and Sacramento gets a shot to see a super fight between two top champions. I am all agreeing. I want to wish a quick happy birthday to my homegirl Lovelight, who I will be seeing in October in Las Vegas. Thank you for joining us on the show today, and happy birthday to everybody who's having a birthday in the month of September. What's up, Drew?
Like Devin Haney, I don't know how Devin Haney is going to doing this. I think this was a big mistake. They should have had it maybe in LA, maybe in Vegas or New York.
I could have seen this fight easily of doing much better in Las Vegas, Drew. We got a new person in here. Welcome, Kevin Knight. He says Haney will make it look easy versus Prograis. Prograis' feet are slow. He looked like shit in his last fight. Haney's too quick, too skilled, in my opinion. At punch resistance, will be better at 40. He makes a very valid point about homecoming fights, and that's the fact that Regis Prograis did not put on the performance he was hoping to put on in front of his home crowd. Could that also affect Devin Haney? Could Devin Haney feel the pressure of, shit, now I'm performing at home and there's great expectations? Could that possibly happen to Devin? Can he have an off night in the Bay Area?
Well, here's the thing. It depends what Devin Haney we're going to. Were we going to get the Devin Haney that grabs and holds?
It works to his advantage.
And we get that one, this is going to be a snooze fest. I'm probably going to ask for somebody for an extra pillow and everything.
Hold on, Drew. Hold on, Drew. Wait a minute. Hold on. That was a good fight with Loma. That was an entertaining fight with Loma. I know. Wait a minute. I know the decision didn't go the way you were hoping.
The
But that was a fun
Kambosos
fight,
fight
man.
one was a snooze fest. All he did was hold.
Yeah, that was. I'm not gonna argue that. I'm not
Come
gonna
on,
argue that.
the guy
That
was
was
close to his
awful.
fucking. Here's
You're
the
right.
thing,
You're right.
Nando. The guy is close to his fucking height. All this dude's gonna fucking do, if Regis gets inside, he's gonna attempt to hold him and clinch. If Regis, because Regis has a good body attack, and Regis, he has a good sneaky right hook and everything. That gets to Devin. That's gonna hurt Devin. We don't know if Devin can take a shot from a legit 140 pounder yet. We're gonna find that out. But we don't. But
Hey, dude, I said it before the Loma fight, dude. Haney finds a way to win. I said it before the Loma fight. Haney's gonna find a way to win. And like the guy commenting in the chat, man, it wasn't like Prograis looked all that great in his last fight either. You know, the whole boogeyman thing's been overblown with Prograis from day one.
To tell you the truth, I didn't like the fucking Prograis got some, like, Crotty went like a knockout over Jose Zepeda. Fucking Jose Ramirez ducked him multiple times. And I think people have to accept that. The Jose Ramirez fanboys need to accept that. Your man ducked Regis Prograis multiple times. He already
Regis Prograis ducked all top rank. Regis Prograis ducked all top rank. Dude, why do you sign with the zone? All the fights are at ESPN, and this guy's smart, man. He plays the victim, but he's smart enough to go to the zone where there's nobody at. Haney wasn't over there when he signed with the zone. There's nobody over there. He's over there for easy paydays. Prograis plays the game, man. Prograis plays the game. He's a smart dude, man. He went to the zone because he get paid by Eddie and wouldn't be putting in any tough fights. Eddie's like right now has to pay Haney a bunch of money. He having come over to the zone.
What promotional companies Jose Ramirez at?
Prograis could have signed with Top Rank. He didn't do it. Why? Because he knew all the easy fights were at the zone. They don't have any 140 pounders.
But when the fight was
like, he had offers to go fight at Top Rank, and he turned them down. Prograis had a 3-fight contract offered to him at ESPN, and he turned it down. Why? When there's no fights at the zone. Why? He's a smart dude, man. He's a chicken hawk.
But we got to admit, Jose Ramirez ducked him twice.
Not just Jose Ramirez, Teofimo Lopez was over there for him, too. He didn't want none of that. There's plenty of fights over at Top Rank, a lot more than at the zone. He ain't dumb. Everybody feels sorry for Prograis, but he don't feel sorry for himself, dude. That guy's getting paid to fight nobodies, man. He just made a bunch of money fighting Zorrilla, and he's going to fight Haney, which is a good fight, but it's not like a dangerous fight because Haney's not going to knock him out, And when he signed with his own, Haney wasn't even over there. Like, Prograis is a smart dude, man. Everybody plays him up, feels sorry for him, points fingers for him, has everybody feeling sorry for him, calling him the boogeyman. But that dude is smart, man. That guy's been low under the radar for years for a reason.
Here's the question. Why did Devin Haney sign with this went and fight on Matchroom?
Because they threw a bunch of money at him. He was thinking about going back to Top Rank. They threw a bunch of money at him for Prograis.
If you're going to if you had fights, potentially Shakur Stevenson, Teofimo at 140, a rematch with Lomachenko, possibly another big fight on Top Rank, and you did the same thing. The fight Regis Prograis.
So you can't be a skeptic of Haney anymore. You can't be a skeptic of Haney anymore, dude. He fought Lomachenko, and he's willing to fight Prograis. Everybody thinks he's a boogeyman, So I mean, down Haney and his motivations. I mean, everybody's going after money anyways, regardless. But to call Haney a ducker or playing, he's fighting everybody. He's fighting Prograis. Everybody's number one boogeyman for years now.
I won't call Haney a duck of any sorts, Nando, but I will say that the 2 fights of the 3 were against Kambosos, someone that I could not possibly ever consider to be on Haney's level. Those were very, very easy fights technically for him.
Here's the question.
And now
who would you rather see him fight, Prograis or Teofimo at 140?
I would love to see him.
All day, Teofimo.
Personally, Drew, I would have liked to have seen him defend his titles against Shakur Stevenson. That would have been the legacy move, is giving Shakur Stevenson the opportunity.
Dave, that fight wasn't going to happen. That's
super high risk.
We all had to look at it.
That's it. Shakur's the boogeyman.
Going to move up and fight Teofimo and everything. And that just went out the window. He just went to Matchroom to fight Regis Prograis, thinking it was an easier fight for him and everything. But
I don't think Haney's afraid to fight anybody, dude. I don't think Haney's afraid to fight anybody. And in fact, I think Tom Frank messed up playing favorites instead of having Shakur fight Haney first. I think before the fight even happened, they should have had Shakur fight Haney first, not Loma. You know, they could have had Shakur be undisputed right now, possibly. And now you got Shakur acting like Bud now, chasing everybody at lightweight, and nobody wants to fight him because he doesn't have any of the belts.
You bring up a damn good point. I got to agree. Got to agree with Nando, but they should have thrown that fight first. They played their cards wrong, and at the end of the day, Haney left. And at the end of the day, Haney had no intention of sticking around Top Rank. As soon as he was done with that 3-fight deal, he was back to Eddie, his old friend Eddie Hearn.
And the thing about it is, man, Eddie Hearn's going to make another bad business decision, overpaying Devin Haney like he did before. That's the thing about – here's the issue with Eddie Hearn. You made – ever since you became a big part of this DAZN platform as their ambassador or whatever the fuck you got, an expanding role, you made a lot of bad business decisions. And now – you're going to potentially have Devin Haney under another contract deal and overpay him to fight after Prograis, lesser competition. You're going to pay him at least $4 to $5 million to fight a fight. And now, these subpar British cards that you brought together, you can't even make the fucking Deontay Wilder fight because you're so key on one-way rematch clauses in contracts, but it favors the guy, your guy. This is what I'm talking about when it comes to Eddie Hearn. He's made so many bad business decisions, and eventually it's going to come back to bite him in the ass because we may not see that Deontay Wilder fight now. Because probably a one-way rematch clause. But at the end of the day, either you are an A or B side. This is a 50-50 split fight. And you guys should have a rematch clause regardless. It doesn't matter if it's a one-way rematch. No. You should have a rematch clause regardless. And we're not, because Eddie Hearn wants to have it in their favor. They're like the favorites. Like, you know, they need us. They need Deontay Wilder as much as you need Anthony Joshua to make the fight. And it's making them look a lot worse for them not taking the fight with Deontay Wilder. But it more power to Devin for taking the more money. If he's going to pay you $4 to $5 million a fight just to fight maybe some part of competition because there's nobody at 140 over there after Prograis, more power to you, dude. Go ahead and do it. I'm shocked that I might be shocked if you fucking able to unify it if you win the belt, but go ahead and do it.
All right, guys. Mexican Independence Day is upon us, and I finished this bottle of Don Julio. I had one of my favorite, the Clear 70. So your boys got to go out and buy a bottle of tequila for the weekend Thursday, because the fight activities kick off Friday and they kick off big time. Should I try Canelo Alvarez's pre-made tequila drink? That is the question. Does this look like it's worthy of the one of the face of boxing? Nando, does this look like a tequila brand that is promising in a can? I'm quite honestly, I'm shocked that this is his brand.
I mean, all those drinks are for females, dude. I don't know. That ain't for me, bro.
Pre-made tequila drinks. So be it. Hopefully he'll invest his money and pick up like something like George Clooney did and pick up like a Casamigos brand, something that's ready to be an international hit. But I still need a bottle of tequila, a good one, and I don't think I'll be drinking this. By the way, I did get some DMs this week asking if I was going to put on my mariachi outfit and sing for Mexican Independence Day, something I've done on this show. And unfortunately, the mariachi hat got lost in my move from the Bay Area to my whole outfit got lost. So the hat didn't get lost. The outfit did, but the mariachi hat got destroyed in the move. So I would love to still, if anybody knows where I can get a charro outfit here in Las Vegas, hit me up at Instagram at shoeshine_boxing because it is part of my deal. All right, guys, this Friday night, I'm going to have to eat Mexican food all weekend, Drew, and I hope you got some good Mexican food in Philly, because Friday night on ESPN, the televised portion will feature El Venado Lopez, the IBF featherweight champion, against someone who I thought maybe was washed up and somehow has found himself in his second career featherweight title opportunity. I'm talking about Yoet Gonzalez, a guy that Shakur Stevenson fought in Reno. I saw that fight. A fight that Shakur Stevenson was dating Yoet Gonzalez's sister at one point. He finds himself, after beating everyone asked him for him to beat, in a title opportunity. And the card is stacked. Not only is it stacked with that, but the co-main will feature Xander Zayas. Xander Zayas, one of the most interesting Puerto Rican young rising stars. I am disappointed to say he will be featured in an 8-rounder against a Mexican opponent. Let's see, his name is Valenzuela Jr., who's 21-4. So the guy's got experience, Drew. I don't know what part of Mexico he's from, but it's only an 8-rounder. And Nando, I talked about this with D-Style when we were talking to 154-pound contender from PBC. Drew, help me out. Our boy Nando. Ramos, of course. Ramos has opened the fighting, Xander, but I'm disappointed that Xander's development has been this slow at Top Rank, guys. 8 rounds, and they're only like a year and a half apart, and he's still just fighting 8-rounders. Nonetheless, for Mexican Independence Day, they chose him to be the co-feature. Also on the card, Jermaine Ortiz, still someone who could potentially be a very serious lightweight contender who fought Lomachenko. Then you got Ruben Villa from Salinas, California, one of the only 2 guys to beat the champion, El Venado Lopez, once upon a time on Showbox. He's back with a new contract at Top Rank. He'll be fighting, 15-3 Brandon Valdez. Not the best competition, but he'll be featured on the card, Drew. And I think he's going to come away with another knockout like he did in Fresno, California recently. And he needs to win in spectacular fashion. Because quite honestly, Drew, Ruben Villa is much better than Yoet Gonzalez. And Yoet Gonzalez finds himself with a second career featherweight opportunity. Nando, what were your thoughts about Ruben Villa against Navarrete, who is, the hot shit in boxing right now 130-pound champion? Do you remember that fight during the pandemic?
Yeah, I remember that fight, dude. I just think, I hate to disrespect him because he's kind of a local guy from Salinas, but he just doesn't have the power, dude. Villa doesn't have the power to keep somebody like Navarrete off of him, Yeah. And that was the difference in the fight. It
was the difference in the fight, Drew. Ruben Villa only has 7 knockouts. But we've seen people go very, very far with boxing skill alone and a fantastic jab, like Paulie Malignaggi, who's probably going to be a multi-divisional champion. We've seen guys without tremendous power become world champions. Your thoughts on that?
First of all, Jermaine Ortiz is going to be a champion at 135. In my opinion, I think he will be. But I think he didn't have enough the power to keep Navarrete off of him either. I just don't. It's skills can get you so far, but I believe you have to have some pop to keep somebody off of you, too, to keep honest. Like Paulie Malignaggi, when he fought Cotto. Mm-hmm. He was able to work through him and bang him to the body. Ricky Hatton, he just got nailed. And it was a little premature stoppage. Yeah, he got robbed in Houston and everything with baby boy Diaz. I don't know. Ruben has potential, but Ruben's going to have to really sit back and start railing on motherfuckers eventually, because he wants to win a title. He wants to get these bigger fights. He's gonna have to rail on somebody and knock some people out. Especially if he's gonna get a rematch from Navarrete and everything. He ever fights him, he's gonna have to not only box, but he's gonna have to keep, step back on his punches and make him hit him hard as shit to make him at least fucking. No, hey, I'm here to fight and everything, and you can't work through me like you did last time. But right. Good fight on everything. I just don't think the power is there for him to be a champion in this sport.
Well, Devin Haney's we talked extensively about Devin Haney today, and quite honestly, he's not a very heavy power puncher either. And yet he wins. He's won all the titles at 135. I want to round out this fantastic card on Friday night with the son of legendary fighter Fernando Vargas, Emiliano Vargas, the baby who Bob Arum had high expectations for of the three sons and signed him to an exclusive deal. He'll be on the main event as well. And he, Drew, has shown already in his early career to have really impressive knockout power. Jesus Ramos, that I forgot his name, Nando brought it up, said that he thinks that he could potentially be a world champion someday. So very high words spoken from Jesus Ramos, who will be on the Canelo Charlo fight. And Drew is shaking his head. I know we have the Derek James in here. Always nice. Show, buddy. Always nice. Always nice to have celebrity trainers in here.
He called me the GOAT. He called me the GOAT, so he called me the GOAT. I gotta give it to him.
All right, Friday night too.
He knows talent.
If you have the DAZN app, or if you have a way to watch it, Angel Fierro is a Tijuana fighter, and there's Nicholson. That's just surprising for her, the Australian fighter that seems to be gaining a lot of popularity as a women's boxer from Australia. Will be fighting Friday, September the 15th, as well as Cruz versus Parker, Crespo, and Olivo. The main event promises to be exciting. Nanda, have you been keeping up on Angel Fierro, the 135-pound contender on DAZN?
Yeah, I've seen his fights when he comes out on DAZN. He's pretty entertaining. He's kind of a strong dude, has some power. And, he's fun to watch, man. I'm definitely going to check out that card also.
He's definitely fun to watch. This is for a WBO, NABO lightweight title, which is just a junior title. But, he picks up this strap, and he will definitely start. He's headlining this Friday card on Mexican Independence Day. That tells you that DAZN is banking very high on him, as they're banking very high on their Saturday card. Fierro, guys, don't miss out on him because he does have power. So he makes these fights exciting with how he finishes these fights. But Saturday night, DAZN headlines with a fantastic Filipino Gesta versus William El Camarón Zepeda Saturday on actual Mexican Independence Day. And Zepeda, at 135 pounds, broke the record last year for most punches ever thrown in a fight by a lightweight. At one point, he was climbing so fast, and then I saw him fight a nobody, Nando, and he got dropped in the second round. I think he was cold. But after that, being dropped in that fight, which has been several fights back now, he's been nothing but a terror in his return to glory. I really think he's a top 5, and I've been saying this, top 5 lightweight, and somebody that very soon merits a world title opportunity. If not, could potentially be world, Drew, these belts are all going to be up. We're pretty much speculating. All these titles at 135 are going to be up for grabs. If they can get one at DAZN, I could see him fighting for it and potentially winning too.
Yeah, depending on who they match him up with, it's not that big of a pull on DAZN. And Eddie Horn's going to try to get Andy Cruz in on it. Anything. So I don't know.
That would be a pretty epic year. Andy Cruz, the gold medalist that he just recently signed, right?
But you know what? If he can get Andy Cruz into a vacant title fight, and imagine the guy that will be aside him is William Zepeda.
Oh.
Do you think Oscar goes for that?
I think he does. I
don't think he does.
Man, that's a fight. Of course, Andy Cruz has almost one professional fight. He's the gold medalist. Yeah. But the story would be so great.
Nando even agrees when it comes to that. Oscar's being a little bit more cautious with who he matches up his guys with now and everything.
I don't know if I agree with that, Drew. I don't know if I agree with you on that, dude. I think Golden Boy in general, they're careful how they move their guys, man. But the good thing is they're keeping them busy. And I think if Shakur picks up a title by the end of the year, I wouldn't be surprised if we had a Shakur versus a William Zepeda sometime next year. I don't think Golden Boy's afraid of a loss, man. A lot of the guys have one loss. The guy fighting in October has one loss, and he hasn't hurt his career. The welterweight, I can't think of the name off the top of my head right now, but the other welterweight for Golden Boy. He has one loss and hasn't stopped his career.
Well, here's the thing. Here's a question for you. Let's say Andy Cruz gets another 2 fights in. Let's say if those belts do get separated, if let's say that Eddie somewhat gets Andy Cruz involved in this, but they said the only way he will get him in the fight if he fights William Zepeda. Do you think either promoter goes for it?
I think William Zepeda is willing to fight anybody, but for that type of a fight, like Andy Cruz or Shakur, there has to be a title at stake, right, for that to sell. You know, I think that's the main holdup right now for there to even be a Shakur versus Zepeda fight. There's no title at stake, you know, and that's a big fight. You know, it's a good fight, but if you don't have a title at stake, it's kind of hard to sell it to the general public, you know. I think that's what they're really waiting on. I don't think they're waiting on Zepeda to develop. I think Zepeda is as good as he's going to be. He's a tough fighter, active, talented, has some power, has a lot of power, and I think he's a true contender. But I just think they're waiting to put him in a big fight for a championship. I think that's the key to any big fight for Zepeda.
Yeah, I'm going to agree with you, Nando, on that. It has to be for a title opportunity. I think he's going to give anybody in that title opportunity fight the fight of their life. And I think that these are the kind of fighters that actually would press and give doubt, maybe a moment of pause to fighters like Shakur Stevenson or a Devin Haney type, a fighter that's going to never stop coming forward, never stop. It can sometimes overwhelm these kind of fighters and actually be the type of guy to beat the boxer.
Hey, Drew, one last thing. Do you know who I like more than Andy Cruz as a prospect right now? That might be ready. I like Floyd Schofield, man. I like Schofield a lot more than I like Andy Cruz. Andy Cruz still has the amateur style, bouncing around, the jib jab and all that stuff. I think Floyd Schofield is more of a top flight contender than Andy Cruz is.
You know what? I actually agree with that. I'll be honest. I don't think Andy Cruz is nowhere near ready to
fight somebody like Zepeda. Drew, it's cool. I'm glad you guys say that because, quite honestly, sometimes these guys that have fantastic amateur records, they just don't fulfill the professional dream that they just don't transition. It can happen. They can fail to make the transition.
Like here's the thing with Andy Cruz in that fight. Andy Cruz didn't really look spectacular. It looked kind of boring at times and everything. That he was being safe. Too safe and everything. Like
his own corner was getting on his ass. Remember that? His own corner was like, come on,
his
let's
own
go for the
corner
knockout.
was getting on his ass.
Remember that?
But like, that's what I'm talking about. If your own corner's gotta tell you, yo, you need to get on this dude. You can knock this dude out. Speed, like upping the pace a little bit, and he's still in that cautious state of being a defensive fighter and not trying to throw punches. This is an investment that can backfire on Eddie. This guy is supposed to be somewhat of your Lomachenko, of him being the guy that can challenge for a title in his third fight. This guy's not on that level. This guy's nowhere near it because he just is too defensive. And he doesn't throw enough to be entertaining. I just don't see it. And maybe another fight. Maybe if it's a style that the guy's style favors Cruz to be more offensive minded in his next fight, maybe we'll see it. But as it looks like right now, no. He's too defensive minded. And he's not going to throw many punches. His punch output's not high at all and everything. He's going to be borderline Weekendell. But Weekendell had a lot more skill than Andy Cruz, in my opinion.
I think Rigondeaux also made a better adjustment into the pro ranks, but it remains to be seen with Andy Cruz, guys. I do have to wrap this show up, guys. I want to make our quick picks predictions for this week. Drew, I'll start with you. And the Friday night main event, we have El Venado Lopez versus Yoet Gonzalez. Your pick.
I got Lopez by KO. I'm gonna say mid-round KO. Like, I think the KOs keep coming for him. Like, he's racking up some nice KO wins over some good competition. I think it keeps going, and he moves closer to a big fight.
All right, and Nando, main event Friday night. El Venado Lopez versus Joet Gonzalez.
Just for fun, dude, I'm gonna pick the upset special. I think Joet Gonzalez, he's facing the abyss when it comes to his career. It's kind of do or die. It's going to be his last chance at a championship title. You know, if he loses, obviously, and Top Rank can probably cut him if he loses. Also, man, it'll be another loss on his record. And he's coming off a good win in his last fight. So if I had some money and the odds were good, I think I'd put some money down on Joet just for fun.
All right, just for fun. I never bet just for fun, but you never know with the odds. I have to go with El Venado Lopez by late stoppage. And Joet Gonzalez is a warrior, and he's going to absolutely put on a fantastic main event. I'll just quickly run down my picks for that Friday night. We're going to have a stoppage performance by Xander Zayas. We're going to have a stoppage by Emiliano Vargas. We may have a stoppage for even Ruben Villa because I think his opposition's a little soft. And I think we'll see Jermaine Ortiz go the distance and win. Drew, you think Jermaine Ortiz can knock somebody out this Friday night?
It can happen. I tell you what, I will pick late round stoppage for Jermaine Ortiz because here's the thing. I think Jermaine Ortiz is somewhat like a Shakur Stevenson, but I think Jermaine Ortiz has a little more power than Shakur Stevenson to execute. Like, it's just that he'll get you with a combination and knock you out or stop you. That's how I feel about Jermaine Ortiz.
I hear you. So let's move on to Saturday night. The main event for the zone, of course, we just talked about William El Camarón Cepeda, who has the record for the most punches thrown by a lightweight ever against Gesta, who's a very hardened opponent who's got a lot of ring experience. I'll go with you, Nando. Do you think Gesta has enough to pull off an upset this Saturday?
I think this is going to be the funnest fight of the weekend. Gesta's coming off of a big victory versus Jojo Diaz.
Yeah.
He's also another guy in his mid-30s. Yeah, he's another guy in his mid-30s, active fighter, and again, another guy is looking at the last chance at the brass ring, man. So I think it's going to be an entertaining fight. I do have Cepeda winning by knockout, like around 10th or 11th round. And hey, the undercard, man, has Yocasta Valley too, man. That'd be a good fight for Sanista, Anyways, thank you.
Yeah, hey, thanks for joining us, Nando. Yocasta Valley was at the fight I went to with our boy Fonzie, Drew, and she got a lot of love from that crowd that Oscar brought her out, and she knew how to talk shit. She was talking all this right shit she needed to get. She said, I sell out stadiums in my country, and you can't sell out the Cosmopolitan in Las Vegas. It was really, really good shit talking. So we'll see about that. Yocasta Valley. All right, Drew. Did you get your pick off for William Cepeda?
I'm picking Cepeda by knockout. I think it's gonna maybe. I'm gonna go mid-round stoppage. I just don't see this guy able to take the arsenal of Cepeda for long. But it's going. Here's the thing. Zepeda's going to be a guy that's going to throw many punches, but when he goes in there with a guy that can time him, it's going to change. That's what I'm saying. Like a Shakur Stevenson. If he fights a guy like him or Jermaine Ortiz that can time him, that work rate slows down big time. And it gets neutralized because he has the defense is his work rate. You time him, Zepeda's a sitting duck. That's how you beat William Cepeda. You have to time him and you make him a sitting duck.
Dude, the only guy who dropped him from Mexico, I don't even remember the guy, timed him perfectly and dropped him. So it can be done. That's what we're looking for Gesta to do. I think Gesta is going to be extremely competitive, but ultimately the accumulation of punches, he may see the canvas in the 11th or 12th round. I think he doesn't make it all the way to the end. Like a lot of you guys have said, you say mid-round stoppage. I think he's going to be very tough.
I'm saying mid-round. I think he's gonna hit the canvas within the first couple rounds.
Yikes! Yeah, I'm excited, man.
I see the fight going. Like this is another showcase fight for Williams Zepeda.
Damn, on paper it doesn't look that way, but it could
paper
be.
It doesn't, but to me it looks like another showcase fight.
Yeah, well, he needs that showcase. Like we said, if these all three other belts Devin Haney has to relinquish as we roll into 2024, that'll be the perfect opportunity for Williams Zepeda to pick up that title opportunity. I think he rightfully deserves. I appreciate everybody that watched us tonight because we weren't even recapping any other of the fights. Derek James wants to know if we do any other sports than boxing. I say we should start doing football on Sundays, Drew. I'll discuss that with Drew. Let everybody know in the comments. At the beginning of the show, there was a wager. Philadelphia Eagles. Drew supposedly owes my homeboy Speech $50, and the Eagles guy Speech wants to double or nothing when they play next week for $100. Let me know in the comments section if you think Drew should take that Speech. Shout out to Mom Food. Thank you for joining us at the last minute. I appreciate everybody. Drew, I'll see you next week, man. Take care, everybody. Peace.
Mania and Stank Home. Shout outs to you, whoever it is.